Mary Morgan of the Morgan Network. Welcome to Marketing Sense. Today I'm in LA and delighted to be asking my friend and colleague Mohawk Matt, formerly known as Matt Berman, 3 questions about marketing these days. Greetings, Matt. For people that don't know you, tell us about you and your brainchild, Bolt Barbers.
Well, I was in the corporate world for more than 25 years and rising up through the ranks, and quite candidly, the higher I rose in these organizations as Vice President of Marketing, Chief Marketing Officer, the less and less fulfilled I became. I was lonely, I was bored, I was impatient, and I basically decided to reinvent myself, and from a greenfield perspective, and decided to start running toward a passion I had since I was 15 years old, which was becoming a barber and cutting hair instead of running away from it.
Now for the 3 questions. First one, what have you learned from your entrepreneurial success that would be of help to your former colleagues in the corporate marketing world?
You know, Mary, for many, many years, the default thinking was thinking with my head, and being very analytical. That's the P&G in me, and thinking about any business opportunity, any business risk with my left brain, and all the pros and and all the cons. And I had in my stomach for a long time to be a barber. I avoided it in high school because quite frankly, the dumb kids went into vocational school. It was even called BOCES. We used to make fun of them. I really very strongly believe that I'm on this planet to be a barber and to bring old school barbering back, to reinvent it. And there was a point in my life where my back was up against the wall, both personally and professionally, and I just kind of made the decision I'm going to start running toward my passion instead of running away from it. And that's really made all the difference in the world. And so my advice would be, don't be afraid of taking risks. Don't be afraid what other people are going to think. I mean, people thought I was insane that I would give up everything that I gave up.
And tattoo, show your tattoo.
And exactly. My branding is right here because I tend to be a little bit of a branding guy. And then on my back I have a full barbershop. And the barbershop actually that I have tattooed, it's a full back piece. I did that because when I was in consumer products, we always used to do all these concept boards. And rut's a rut trying to change that concept board.
Matt, how are you generating traffic, also known as trial and repeat?
Well, I think these are almost outdated terminologies, and I think part of the problem with marketing today is that people are trying to basically use old techniques in new ways, as opposed to really reinventing the essence of what marketing is all about and integrating aspects and fundamentals. Marketing today is all about experience. It's about brand experience. And if you don't have brand experience, you don't have brand. Mm-hmm. And it's really as simple as that. So that we are in a very fortunate situation because we have really, operating as a retail environment, we have made everything that comes in contact with the dudes who come to Bolt Barbers part of the brand experience. So dudes who come into Bolt Barbers are offered a Hairy Beast card. A Hairy Beast card is a loyalty card. They actually pay for this. It's $3.33, and what it gets them is free and unlimited signature root beer every time they come in for a service. It also gets them espresso, latte, San Pellegrino. We have eggnog during the holidays, spiked with a little bit of bourbon. And so it becomes part of the experience. Now, we've sold 3,600 of these Hairy Beast cards in the last year because our dudes want to be Hairy Beasts. They're willing to pay to become part of our social network, of our organization. They're not paying a lot but that transactional aspect basically puts a value on the experience. And then we're also a little bit cheeky with our I guess our attitude, and we don't take ourselves too seriously. Hair grows back. It's not like a tattoo. You screw up a tattoo, and man, you're going to Dr. Tatoff. It's a big problem. You screw up a haircut, it's going to grow back. And we do screw up haircuts. I mean, we screw up shaves. I mean, things happen. Things go, horribly wrong. And so even though we have a very high Yelp rating, 75 reviews and 4.5 stars, we have our share of negative reviews. And we decided a while back to begin highlighting those negative reviews. And so we put together this book, People Hate Us on Yelp. And it's a collection of our own worst reviews.
Matt, who's your favorite marketer other than Bolt Barbers these days, and why?
I'd have to say Apple. Apple is such a terrifically fantastic company, both from a design perspective, but more importantly from a brand experience perspective. Bolt Barbers runs on Apple, both hardware and software, and I run my personal life on Apple as well, both hardware and software. What I love about Apple is, again, taking the worst example, it's wonderful when you buy a new computer, it's wonderful when you buy a new phone and you have all this new technology and all that kind of stuff. And that's all great. The thing comes wrapped in a jewelry box and just, awesome design, awesome advertising, and the whole packaging is part and parcel to the thing inside. But the most important thing about Apple, and the thing that you gotta love, is the whole brand experience. And that same brand experience of how you feel when you buy it is how you feel when it breaks. Because, unlike Microsoft, I wouldn't begin to know where to get a PC fixed. But when one of my Macs breaks, happened last week, the optical drive went out on one of my minis, and I'm like, oh great, oh great. It's Christmas time. I get an excuse to go to the Genius Bar at Apple. They're open extended hours for the holidays, and I made a same-day reservation, showed up at 9 o'clock, they validate my parking, and I drop off my Mac Mini. They're like, you have a choice. It needs a new optical drive. You can take it back with you, or you can leave it here for a couple days. I chose to leave it there for a couple days. And 3 days later, the thing is fixed. And, and meanwhile, I've spent a couple $100 more on additional, Apple software and some other new cool stuff that I saw in the Apple Store. It is a total enjoyable experience. The people are not nerds, they're cool people, you have conversationalists. When your computer breaks, it's fun if it's an Apple. It's a nightmare if it's a PC. And that's what I love about Apple.
Thanks, Matt, for taking the time in between shaves and cheers. Awesome.
High five.